Happy Women's History Month. What is up, everyone? This is Press X Start Podcast, and we are going to be reacting to PlayStation State of Play Hogwarts Legacy. Press X Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. We believe that trans lives matter. Period. I am your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Harry Potter.
Jesus Christ.
That's my Harry Potter cosplay. It's just screaming Harry Potter. Who else is here?
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
Jamaican Hufflepuff.
Oh, okay. House of Negril, I see. and last up,
Hi, everyone. It's Avery.
nailed it as always. All right. As I said at the top of the hour, one, we believe in trans lives matter, and that's a big thing about this Harry Potter thing because of J.K. Rowling saying the crap that she's saying and how bad it's gotten and all that bad stuff. But I don't got anything else to say. Like she's a bad person. She's a bad person.
She the fact that it's very. Hey, don't meet your heroes, everyone.
Exactly. That's so true. All right. So let's jump into it. We just got two questions before we watch this state of play. First off, what is everyone's experience with Harry Potter? Avery, you go first.
It's weird. As a young kid, I was known for reading books. Pretty much it. Like in high school, like before I met Marcus and had a friend group, all I did was spend my lunch reading. And that was a big thing for me. And This is before young adult became like an actual genre that people understood and we essentially made fun of. But when I was a kid, one of my teachers gave me Harry Potter because they knew I would like the franchise. They gave me the second book, not the first one. So I read that book, was like, this is great. Went to the third, went back to the first, and then from there was relatively current with Harry Potter up until the finale came out. I was a massive Harry Potter fan. It was my favorite pop culture genre, even like in a world where Star Wars fans were a thing. Before I really became a fan of video games, all that, Harry Potter was part of my identity. I was super into it, played all the games before I realized that video games could be good.
When did you start playing video games seriously?
Wait, real quick. Avery, can you move over to your right a little bit? Other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Perfect. You're falling out of the frame a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things where video games are always expensive. My parents were never ones to really expend money on things I really cared about. So I got my first video game system, which was an N64, from a rich uncle. And then over the N64's lifespan, I got 3 games. Yoshi Story, I want to say Mario Kart, and then maybe Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah. But back then I wasn't very dexterous. So I couldn't really beat any of those games, really wasn't having fun. I would go to my next door neighbor's house who had a very liberal guardian who bought them whatever they want. They had all these games, but I wasn't really a serious gamer till I want to say I was 14, 15, and I had disposable income enough to buy my own video game system. Yeah. And so a kid, I bought a brand because the PS2 was notoriously a bad console in terms of living long. But on my third PS2, I bought it with my own money. I got a copy of Devil May Cry 3, and that was the period where I actually started paying attention to games. And then it was around the PS3 rebrand is where I was 100% in the pocket of I'm playing games all the time. I'm paying attention to games. I can have critical discussion of what games I like and dislike and things like that.
My PS2 never failed.
My failed all the time. I think I had 4 PS4s, 4 PS2s in my life.
Whoa. I had 2. I there was the first one I had, and I loved that thing to death, and then it died on me, and I was like, I'll never be able to live again. And then got another one. Although there was a time between where the first one broke and the other one before I got the other one. It was just like, oh, this is terrible. To see the games that I can't play, I hate it.
I got my PlayStation 1 and 2 through dubious means. So
That tracks.
My uncle was selling.
That tracks. We don't need to know anymore, Sean. We don't need to know anymore.
And then my PS2 just came in a plain cardboard box.
Sean, you're wonderful. You know that. But Harry Potter, what's your experience, Sean?
I have watched. I was literally talking about this in the car with Dre. I have watched maybe 1.5 movies.
There's like 9 of them. Or like 7, I think.
And I watched Where to Find Fantastic Beasts.
There are 8 Harry Potter mainline movies, and we're on number 3 of the Fantastic Beasts series. And if you count the Broadway, that's
the screenplay or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The Cursed Child.
Yeah, which is fan fiction.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that Fantastic Beasts, the first movie too, so I guess 2.5 technically.
Okay.
I was telling Drea in the car, like, when stuff is too popular, I'm just like, I'll do it on my own time. Like, I didn't watch Breaking Bad until years after it was over.
Oh, okay.
I still haven't watched The Wire.
You and me both.
Yeah, we haven't. None of us have seen it. So yeah, my experience with Harry Potter is very interesting. I have watched all of the movies. I've watched the first Fantastic Beasts. Didn't see the second one yet. It's weird because on the face of it, I don't see myself as like a Harry Potter stan or like a Harry Potter super fan. But like, I just have a warehouse of just like random just memories and facts of the series, and it's so weird that I didn't expect it to stick with me as it has. So like, I am like, when there was rumors of this game that first broke out, I was like so excited for it because like, oh, this could be really cool. But then the whole J.K. Rowling thing was just like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
but like,
you sound a lot like me when it comes to Star Wars. In that I would never call myself a Star Wars fan, but if you ask me intimate details about the Star Wars lore and world, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is easy to tell you.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell. I know all of this.
Y'all see that video where some guy walked up to another random guy and started quizzing him on Star Wars?
Yeah. And the guy
and he was crushing the answer.
He's like, do you want the long form answer or the short?
It's
like, God damn. You asked the wrong one.
That guy was ready. So yeah, and then shout out to Shireen, my wife, who is a Harry Potter super fan, where she has seen all the movies multiple times. She was listening to she was going through the books audio form.
Oh,
and
dude, those Jim Dale audiobooks are so fucking good.
Is it the one guy that does all the voices?
He just does all the voices, and it's just like, oh, this is fantastic.
I'd be willing to check it out like that.
Yeah, so like we were driving somewhere, and she's like, oh, let me put this on, and he was playing Hermione, and I was just like, she didn't like tell me like what the whole thing was on. Yeah, she just put it on. I was just like, who is this guy? What is this, Harry Potter? Like, what? You've been listening to this? And she's like, yeah. I was like, this isn't even the first like book. She's like, yeah, I know. I've been going through them. It's like, oh my god. So yeah. So this can go into our hype levels for this state of play that we're about to see. What are you guys' hype levels for this? Avery, you go first.
Okay, open-ish world Harry Potter RPG that has literally nothing to do with the books, that just has to do with Hogwarts and the world, is one of those things as a kid when I'm playing the PS2 Chamber of Secrets game is like, oh man, this is what I'm dreaming of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how Greg Miller has always talked about how DC Universe Online was like his idea of heaven?
Yeah.
If someone showed this game to a 13-year-old Avery, he would have been the exact same. He would have been. This is what he would say, and like it didn't help that because I have a large European family that like every time we went, every time we went to the UK, I was like, I gotta see platform 9 3/4. I gotta hang out there. Like I gotta get a bunch of pictures. I gotta put on my I gotta get my robes on.
I ain't do any of that when I went to the UK.
Oh, that's awesome. Sean, what's your hype level?
I just like magic shit. So and I like competent games. That's all I'm looking for out of this.
Hey,
I'll
that's
play the shit out
respectable.
of it if it's a fun game. And most
There's
games
magic.
where they have melee versus magic versus whatever. I was a black mage for 10 years, man, in Final Fantasy. Like I just like, I like fucking with magic. Sure.
Okay.
Give me a good game.
Yeah. And like the rest of you, I'm also hyped for this. Again, it's one of those things where I wasn't thinking about this game in January. I wasn't thinking about this game in February. I wasn't thinking about this game 2 weeks ago. But there's a state of play for this game. Like, oh yeah, that's right. This is a Harry Potter thing. And then I think there was rumors that like, oh, this is supposed to feel a little like Bully. And I know of Bully by watching Shireen play Bully because she loved Bully.
That was a good
And
ass
that was
game.
like, yeah. And like that was one of those games where I would be playing whatever game on TV and she's like, all right, we're done with this. I'm playing Bully. I'm like, oh, all right, I guess I'll watch you play Bully. So I'm excited to see what we have in store for this.
We know
all right,
advance in your relationship. Both of you.
Right. It changes on depending on the game. All right, and now we are about to watch the state of play. All right.
Lumos.
Okay.
Their trip.
Right. This looks good too.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Welcome to Hogwarts Legacy.
Can you hear this
You're a new
fine?
student at the famed School of Witchcraft and Wizardry with a unique ability to manipulate powerful ancient magic hidden in the wizarding world.
Oh.
You'll need to uncover what's behind the return of this forgotten magic and who is seeking to harness it to destroy wizard kind, as you may be the one that decides the fate of the entire wizarding world. But before you can study magic and begin to solve these mysteries, you must create the witch or wizard you want to be.
This looks really good.
When you arrive at Hogwarts, you will be sorted into one of the 4 Hogwarts houses.
Oh, you're right.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. After you
What about
settle
House
into your
Targaryen?
dormitory, you will meet up with your housemates in the common room. You will then need to attend classes, and you do have some catching up to do,
that's actually really
as you
cool.
are starting Hogwarts late as a 5th year.
So you are the new student.
You'll begin your studies attending Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, and Potions classes, to name a few.
Oh, hello, class. Please welcome the newest pros in our garden.
When did this take place?
Shall we begin? Welcome to year 5 of Charms.
I don't know.
This will be a
It's like that
crucial
should
year
be,
in your education on the art
Professor
of
Sprout,
charm.
but that looks nothing like what I
am
imagined Professor
confident
Sprout to look like.
that we will
Yeah.
take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge.
The best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two.
Time for a proper Hogwarts
fuck?
welcome.
Y'all just scrap off, but
Right.
on an elevated platform.
You may begin.
Oh my god. That is abuse.
Not bad for a beginner.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Potions is one of the most challenging and hazardous subjects taught at this school.
Here, you'll meet your professors and learn to cast spells, grow magical plants, brew potions, and more. In between classes, you'll be able to explore the castle famous for its secrets, enchantments, and mysteries.
This looks really
You'll
good.
discover dungeons and secret passageways.
This is an online game, right?
Oh, no.
As well as challenging puzzles that will require magical skill and a
I
clever
just assumed that
mind
was
to
it was
solve.
a single player.
I don't know. I thought it was an online.
You may even find yourself in iconic locations
Hey, Dobby.
you've never been able to explore
House
before.
elves, not Dobby.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I say, wait, Dobby
I'm
was
sorry.
in.
That's racist.
It's the late 1800s, so while the common rooms and classes may be familiar, most of your professors will not be. However, you may recognize a few faces.
Nick.
All in good fun. Once Sir Patrick lets me join the Headless Hunt, I'll be right there with them. This offering is sure to win them over.
Don't forget why I'm here, sir.
You'll come to know this eclectic group of talented witches and wizards
That's
in class
Professor
and
Binns?
while completing side assignments that are part of a special curriculum. One's designed to help you catch up with the other fifth years at your own speed.
Bitch. Just
Opportunities for adventure abound in the area surrounding Hogwarts. The magical abilities you learn to master through your schoolwork will soon become tested as you unravel a dangerous mystery by working alongside the accomplished and yet enigmatic Professor Fig to try and discover if the rumors of a mounting goblin rebellion hold any weight, and if the safety of Hogwarts lies in the balance.
I have. Opinions differ as to how great a threat
Oh.
it really is.
Goblin Rebellion.
Yeah.
Ranrock's loyalists are capable of so much more than people realize.
The wizarding world of this era is fraught with dangers. Creatures corrupted by a magical force, powerful goblins, and sinister witches and wizards, all willing to fight, even kill, to achieve their own goals. In fact, there's an uneasy alliance between the goblins and dark wizards.
You said you could get to the child when they came to Hogsmeade. That all you needed was a distraction. I gave you a distraction.
I just watched a student take down your distraction. Who is this child? Are you not telling me?
But perhaps you shouldn't involve yourself with that just yet.
Let's go.
Man, this game looks so good. Oh my god. I was not expecting it to look like this.
It's good, but I mean, that's a set piece. You're not actually doing that.
I know, but still, like, I'm just shocked by like the fidelity of all these
Enemies
things.
possess
Although this
unique
is like, you know,
defensive and offensive abilities,
one of those
including
trailers.
blasting curses,
Oh,
stunning
yeah,
spells,
right, yeah,
enchanted weaponry, and more. While some may attack directly, others might enchant and incapacitate you. Mastery
snap.
of the shield
Super fire.
charm allows you to deflect ranged spells and direct weapon strikes.
It's got a parry. It's got a parry ability.
Yep.
Attack
Right.
with powerful stunning charms, allowing you to follow up with extended spell combinations.
I think the next question is, what happens if you die? Do you lose all your runes or what?
Students who become particularly adept at spellcasting will find many ways to exploit their enemy's weakness.
I love magic that interacts with each other, so let's go.
Gotta dodge.
Yeah.
Mashed up.
Right?
It looks like apparating, which has always been a
Slam
weird
with
thing.
Descendo. Roast with Incendio.
Gross.
Devastate your enemies using various finishes. You can even use the mysterious, powerful magic your professors do not understand to obliterate your strongest foes.
Call upon the lightning.
Mixing and matching dozens of spells will let you define your combat style.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
On your path to become
Ooh.
the ultimate duelist.
Yo, okay.
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time.
In addition to classes and spells, you'll have access to a deep set of upgrades, talents, and skills to aid your progression as a wizard. Complete challenges throughout the world to earn experience. Level up your abilities by choosing talents to upgrade your spells, plants, and potions to increase their power. Decide which talents best fit your playstyle to allow you to focus on your favorite types of magic. You can also loot, buy, or craft your own magical gear that will increase your offensive and defensive capabilities in combat. Gear can be upgraded and specialized to allow for greater abilities for your chosen playstyle.
Use a strong, even motion when cutting your ingredients.
Spells are not the only tools at your disposal in combat. As you hone your wand skills, you can continue to further your magical education at Hogwarts, progressing your development as a witch or wizard. Brew potions that can increase your power when you need a boost. Grow
This
and
is
deploy
so
magical
well thought
plants
out.
to mob the battlefield and keep your enemies at bay.
We'll see.
That's true.
You can even unleash
give it an
deadly
hour to see how
mandrake
you complain about
seedlings
it.
to incapacitate unsuspecting enemies.
Hey, if I can change the controls, I'll be good.
In Beasts class,
Look at that.
you will learn about a
Look at that
variety of
thing.
magical beasts you might encounter, both at school and as you explore the world surrounding the castle and its grounds.
The goal of today is to remind all
Hey.
of you to maneuver on a broomstick.
Learning and mastering broomflight is highly recommended so that you may travel around the world more quickly.
I want you to do my herbology homework.
You're despicable.
Thank you. All right,
Some
show me the
abilities will
trophy.
be taught to you by students who become your friends.
How many persona?
As you develop relationships with these schoolmates, they can accompany you on your journey as your companions.
Bruh, this is wild.
And over time, you'll learn their stories.
I like that hair.
Yep.
This is our chance.
Natsai Onai is a brave adventurer driven by the justice she seeks.
Oh.
Poppy Sweeting has a kind heart and loves magical beasts, connecting with them more easily than with humans.
They look like Angry Birds.
Now?
Unafraid of detention or breaking the rules
Sneaking in the restricted section again.
is Sebastian Sallow, a charismatic
What is that?
Slytherin
We've been over
The
this
poltergeist.
before. Fix
I'll explain it later.
curse.
I'll explain it
with a
later.
troubling family secret.
Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
You'll meet these students and more as you explore common rooms, hallways between classes, and regular gathering areas.
Welcome to the Room of Requirement.
One of the most remarkable secrets of Hogwarts is known as the Room of Requirement.
Yup. Okay.
You're introduced to this space that seems to sense what you need and then provides it for you. Since you need to catch up to your peers, the room provides space for you to sow and harvest plants, brew potions, and upgrade your gear.
Y'all think this is gonna come out this year?
A helpful house elf named Deke helps you discover vivariums that allow you to nurture your own menagerie of magical beasts.
What is it? Deke isn't sure. Only one
Like this
way
game
to
was
find
like
out.
well into
You can
development
freely
3 years
customize
ago when
this
we learned
space
about
to
it
reflect your
accidentally.
personality and magical specialties.
Is this a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
Not everything you need on your journey is available at Hogwarts. You'll want to visit the nearby wizarding village of Hogsmeade, where loads of shops and vendors can provide you with the supplies you
Is the
require.
Shrieking Shack in this game?
From potion ingredients and recipes, to seeds for magical plants, to all sorts of gear. But Hogsmeade also has its dangerous side. A band of dark witches and wizards emboldened by the turmoil of the times wander the village outskirts. You must avoid them or defeat them.
Yeah, Jesus.
As you explore, you'll find the world surrounding Hogwarts is alive with activity, wonders, and areas of unusual interest.
Okay.
As the school year progresses, dynamic seasons and climates will fill the sky with lightning or sunshine, or coat the ground with snow or rain. Unique wizarding hamlets pepper the countryside, each with vendors and residents who have stories to tell, and missions with which they could use your assistance. Be on the lookout for enchanting magical puzzles that may very well have been designed by Merlin himself when he was a student at Hogwarts. Magical beasts roam the lands outside the castle walls. Some have been corrupted by a mysterious dark magic, while others are at risk of poachers and their traps. If you're feeling benevolent, you can rescue them and restore them to health in the room of requirement.
Wait, that's unfortunate.
But there are dangers beyond.
Oh right, yeah. Right. Oh no.
Well. Dungeons and vaults
What
hold
happened to you
perilous
in your
threats
life, my
and
boy?
also untold rewards. Be careful where you choose to explore, as it may lead you down a darker path.
Hey. Oh.
Master spells.
Wait a minute.
Befriend new allies.
Wait a
Journey
minute.
across a landscape
Wait a
never seen
minute.
before. Uncover ancient secrets. Combat mystical threats. Learn long forgotten mysteries. Become
Is that
the
hinting
witcher
at like
wizard you want to
a
be.
moral system?
As you leave your unique
I'd
mark
assume
on
so.
the wizarding world.
Yeah.
Here, in Hogwarts Legacy.
This is wild. Holiday 2022. Wow.
I might have struck gold, or I might get fucked here.
That was your first extended look at Hogwarts Legacy. Now let's hear from the real wizards and witches behind the game.
That is wild.
The attention to detail and the passion and the love for this brand that the
Do y'all
team
want to watch
has
this, or you
is
just want to talk?
astonishing.
I want to watch it.
Our team is so excited.
Because frankly,
to take all of
these are the
love
people who
that
have to
we put
deal
into
with the
this as
JK
fans
Rowling
and
bullshit.
give it to
That's a
fans.
good point, yeah.
This is the game that they've dreamed of for 20 years.
Behind the scenes.
The lore of the wizarding world is already so rich, and all we had to do was harness those elements and build a game out of it.
The movies, the
single
books,
player
they
looks
all
like.
touched me
Yeah.
in such a way that it makes me want to go to experience Hogwarts, makes me put in so much more detail into this game.
We really want to make sure that anything we add or anything we play with or anything that we explore really feels authentic.
Bringing to life just the charm and the love,
Senior
everything we have for the books, and then marrying that with the iconic experiences from the movies that fans will recognize is really just the perfect handshake between the two. Just the discovery of like seeing things portrayed for the first time. Maybe they've read something and had a picture in their head the whole time, but then finally to get to touch it, to walk around it.
You've got all these elements that can come together to create this amazing AAA open world action RPG.
When it comes to the open world, it's just we just knew it wasn't going to be enough to just stare out of the windows of Hogwarts and wonder what it's like out there. But the final question that fans ask is, what's beyond that? What's beyond the Forbidden Forest? What's going to be beyond Hogsmeade? What's beyond the Black Lake if I start traveling south? And we just felt like we had to answer those questions.
So yeah, my question was going to be, is this open world or like open chord or open area kind of thing?
We were creating a real wide palette of opportunities and ways to explore the world. You're going to see different stories that are really exclusive to who you were in the world.
Hogwarts Legacy is an original story that takes place in the late 1800s.
You are a new student who is starting at the famed School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as a 5th year, which is very unusual. So already there's a bit of an edge and a bit of a mystery.
The original story that we tell in the game is your story of what you did, in the Wizarding world that you haven't seen before.
Or make our own magic with our story we're trying to tell.
Fans are familiar with the Wizarding world.
That's the question.
From,
Part of the
1900s
mystery.
and on, really. But now, with this world, we're able to sort of create a space that's their own.
The late
Fans of
1800s,
the
they said.
series
Is
will know
that before
ancient
Dumbledore's
magic
time?
has been around for a long time, to say the least, and that Hogwarts itself is a stronghold of ancient magic.
Wait, do these people have
And
normal
the avatar,
lifespans?
the player,
To a certain
has the
extent.
ability
They live a
to
bit
sense
longer,
it
but they're
and
not like.
possibly wield it or control it.
Our process of development started with rereading the books. And over development, we reread the books many times. Every time we'd start with a new feature, we'd dig into that. And then beyond, we would go into the films.
Being able to put our own spin on what this universe is was a pretty big deal. I helped design a piece that nobody has ever seen before, the Hufflepuff common room.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as a Hufflepuff, you always wondered, like, what is my common room supposed to look like?
It's close enough to the world that we know.
It's right next to the kitchen, that's all we know.
They'll recognize certain names, they'll recognize spells, they'll recognize certain locations.
I recognize that doorway, I recognize that classroom.
But mostly, it's going to be an entirely new wizarding world that no one's ever experienced.
I cannot wait to show Shireen this. She is going to flip
in
out.
the
Oh
world,
my god.
What's the one anchor?
Get off the
Like,
game,
what's the thing that
Donald. I
everyone
want to
comes
play.
back to? What's the
Yeah,
thing that
it's gonna be a
grounds it all,
problem. Like, my
grounds all these
Gundam time, I don't
characters,
know how
grounds
I'm
all
gonna
these
get that
figures.
done.
And
Wait,
for us, we really
do you
felt
still have
like
your
that
PS4?
answer was Hogwarts itself.
Yeah, I do.
That school,
there's
PS4
that
and
famous
PS5.
school of
There's no
witchcraft
way.
and
There's no way I could
is
convince
really
her
what binds
to
it all.
play the
How to bring
PS4.
Hogwarts to life. That was a very
Is that
big
something
challenge.
she really cares
because
about?
as everybody knows,
Yeah,
Hogwarts is
Like,
huge.
Now we need
because
to
I'm
know
gonna be
exactly
playing
how
this too.
passage
So
fits to this
like,
passage for game,
you know,
'cause
she's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
have
like,
to walk
oh,
it.
this
And of course,
doesn't look
again,
as good as
sentient
that,
castle,
and
it's
there's
got
no
new
way
surprises
that
up
I'm.
its
Sounds
sleeve.
like you're gonna be
Like
playing the
skins
PS4
on
version then,
skins.
Donald.
We've put so many little secrets and passageways and rooms in this
You're not
castle.
wrong.
We recreate those.
He gave you a
very
whole ass
important
child. I mean,
locations. And then
Yeah,
there's
that's true.
other places that are only mentioned
You
in the
have a
books or
point.
just
I guess I
alluded
will
to,
play
and
this
we
on
have to make the
PS4.
connective tissue
We'll
that brings
see.
all
We'll
of
see
it
what the
together.
timing works out. You know.
Having
I can
a
do an hour. She
world
can do an hour.
That is a
Y'all gonna be like
breathing, living world is very
marriage
hard to do
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's all about the details. And as a concept team, we really got into those details and studied history, studied architecture.
I
Like,
hope
if
that
this
when fans
pans
play the
out
game, they get
with
as
how it's looking
lost
right
in it
now,
as I
like
do.
this is
I could
this
just
is
be
gonna be
reviewing a
crazy.
side mission, and all of a sudden I find myself wandering Hogwarts for like 45 minutes because it's so beautiful.
The community is absolutely going to love Hogwarts Legacy.
It's gonna be so fun.
Get that letter to Hogwarts and go to Hogwarts.
We're so excited for people to come to this, to inhabit it, to actually enter the Hogwarts that we built. This is your Hogwarts legacy.
So in terms of for companions, they showed one companion, the black girl.
They showed
We
and then
truly
they,
hope you
they
enjoyed
showed
the
They
Hogwarts
showed
Legacy.
no, they showed three.
Our
The
team
Slytherin
is
boy, the
so
Hufflepuff girl, and
grateful
the
for
and the
excitement
Gryffindor girl.
and for the passion that all of you bring to this. It's truly what fuels us. On behalf of our team at WB Games Avalanche, we want to thank you for being here today, and we'll see you at Hogwarts.
Boy.
That's our show. We hope you're excited for the magic to come. See you next time.
All right. That was the Hogwarts Legacy PlayStation State of Play. That was really, really good. Like I am shocked. Like I am still just so impressed with the fidelity of all of the scenes that they showed. Like I want to say the first time we saw a glimpse of it, it was more of a like a cartoony art style.
No, I think this is I think at least from what I can remember from the last time when it was formally introduced like a year ago. This is the style it presented itself with. I do like this is an interesting. While based on the question you asked earlier was, do you think this is coming out at the end of the year? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure they've had enough time. I still believe that, even though they gave it the nebulous holiday. 2022 moniker at the very end. But they've had more than enough time to work on this game. Remember, it was leaked in advance ages ago, and it was in deep in production when it was leaked. So anything could happen.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. That's a really good point, man. Like, if I'm kind of, I feel like if this comes out holiday 2022, right, and all the other games that are slated to come out this year comes out, so we get Starfield, we get God of War. We already got Elden Ring. We got Horizon. We got Sifu. Like, is this gonna be like one of the best years in gaming?
I mean, on paper, yeah.
Yeah, right. Man. man, I'm in a weird position where I tried my best to keep my expectations super low for this because I just didn't. I was hyped for it because it's Harry Potter and it's like, oh, it's gonna be a game and it's gonna be on PS5 and the current consoles. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of power that it can use, but like, my mind is blown with just what they're presenting. Like, Sean, how do you feel about what you just saw?
I'm whelmed.
Oh, okay, that's better than underwhelmed.
Yeah.
You saw the magic though, didn't you? You said you wanted magic, right?
That looks like it has the potential to be annoying if you're casting a lot of the same stuff repetitively, because it looks like they're yelling out the spell names and what have you. We'll see.
Yeah, I think in terms of the magic and the like speed, I'm wondering how deep that system is going to be because they showed a lot of stuff. But my question is that a majority of the spells that they showed, or is that just like the tip of the iceberg in terms of like the spells they can play with? Because like really and truly, like in Harry Potter, you only see maybe like like a 6 or 7 or so, and it is just a lot of reusing the same spells. I don't know. I don't really have a reason as to like what they're thinking is for just reusing the spells, but like I feel like in this game there's a potential of going crazy. Like the fact that they showed the Avada Kedavra, like the killing curse, like the fact that they're going that route too, it is kind of crazy. It's just like where will you end up at the end of this game in terms of like the possibilities of your spell casting? I really love the fact that you can combo the spells, and it looks like you can do some kind of zone control in terms of pulling a person towards you, raising you up into the air, and then like focusing on someone else while they're like hovering in the air. Like those kind of possibilities really like appeal to me in my gameplay sensibilities. So yeah.
I think the game looks great. I think as a Harry Potter fan, I am too close to the subject of what I love about Harry Potter to like
objectively
view what I saw. Though from a more critical perspective, I do work. This is one of those. This is why I'm always big on. I really want to get hands on with a game and get into its guts to see how I feel about it, because all the Harry Potter stuff looks amazing, but nothing from a like video game 2022 kind of thing wows me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I will say in terms of the video game 2022 wow factor, I would say that the open world scenes of the vistas or whatever, that'd probably be like the best looking stuff I've seen if I hadn't played Horizon already.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of taints my view on this, but like I think graphical fidelity wise, this is looking like really probably top 10 for the end of the year, at least for me in terms of what I've seen. Again, this is a trailer. This is stuff that is really polished that they're showing off to the masses. So will the actual game end up like this? We don't know. You know, there's always a possibility that it can come out and it's not exactly up to snuff. In terms of me being super critical on this, as Sean joked around, but like it's actually a real factor. Like, what are the controls for this, and like how is the controls for the magic is going to work, especially if you have like so many abilities at your disposal.
They're
like,
probably going to go the route of, and this is just because I played it so recently, but Elden Ring, where you set certain spells that you want to mess with at the moment, and then you go back to your base and switch them out, what have you.
Right. I hope it's a thing of you.
It could go the Guardians of the Galaxy standpoint, where
it's like X square circle,
where it's like you all the basic buttons do something, but like you touch the D-pad and that opens up a mini menu that gives you like three. Okay, so like you can set spell shortcuts to the D-pad for the individual face buttons. So instead of what it sounds like, you would have 4 spells at your disposal or one active at a time. You got to hot swap between them. You could have effectively 16 that you could mess around with it at any given time.
Yeah,
But ultimately, that comes with how many spells are in the game. Because one of the issues that I had with the films is there's such a vagueness to the magic, and for the most part, at a certain level, they just stop saying the spells. So it's really hard to know what was what spell and what did what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, it will have no microtransactions.
Good. Okay. I would hope so, but
that's news now. But
that's true, right? So like my other concern is how deep does the magic interaction system goes, because they did mention about like countering spells and like the possibilities of like, oh, this person is doing like a shield, like you can use some kind of thing to break the shield. I'm hoping that is a deep system and it's not just a shallow system. I also noticed that the spells were kind of color coded, so I don't know if that's going to play into like, oh, that's a red spell. If red spells are countered by blue spells, so make sure you just have a blue spell. Go ahead, Avery. What are you gonna
say? To your latter, I don't really think so. Your former depends on what's the depth of their spells. If this is a game where like they have 50 spells and like it keeps going and every spell has individual, like specifically for combat, I doubt we're gonna see like that intricate like spell interaction. But like this is a game where like they sat down, looked through the Harry Potter and said, what are 16 really interesting combat spells? I bet you're going to see a lot of magical interaction between them. That being said, I don't think it's going to go the Breath of the Wild, our spells affect the environment kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm not expecting that. Like, I feel like if that was the case, they probably would have shown like, oh, this fire spell is lighting the grass on fire. Check that out. Like, the fact that they didn't even bother doing something like that, I'm like, okay, well, like, although, I mean, yeah, they did show a spell breaking a tree, and it kind of looked like the tree branch was hovering for a little bit. I'm not sure if it was just caught on other geometry or if that was like part of whatever the person was doing. I think my only other kind of concern is they mentioned that, okay, you go into the town and you buy potions, you buy clothes and all that stuff. I would wonder, like 30 hours in, 40 hours in, is it boring just to not boring, but like, does it get monotonous just kind of doing that same thing over and over again? Like, oh, I got to go to the store and buy some onions and some tomatoes because I ran out of them.
That depends, I think, honestly, on this game's sort of loading capacity. If going to the store is all right, I just teleport right to the store, then that's fine. But if the thing is, all right, I got to teleport to Hogsmeade first, then I got to walk my way to the store, then I can see it being like repetitive and things like that. And then it's incumbent upon them to make going to the store worth it and not something that I end up having to spam 15 times.
Exactly.
In succession.
Yeah. And the other thing, just to go along the whole scene of them showing the store, I kind of got vibes of Red Dead Redemption 2 of Arthur in the camp, and he's kind of just like slow walking through the camp. And it was one of those things where it's like, I'm not gonna let that hurt my feelings on what I'm seeing, but like that run button better work. That's all I'm saying. You better be able to run through the town.
I think
no running in the hallways.
I think on that vein, the scariest thing I thought about in this game is that they showed off the broom. They showed up broom flight and said that was going to be a major part of traversal in this game, the getting on the broom and doing that. But I'm just thinking from a design standpoint, like what areas do you not want me to fly in? What is the speed of the broom? When do I get the broom? And how do you gate progression in this area with the broom?
That's a good point, yeah. Because there was nothing stopping the broom in the movies from, like, if the user wanted to go left and just keep going, there was no like area of effect where the broom would just stop working, right?
Yeah, as far as I can remember, there's no part of the Hogwarts, the school, that prevented the use of a broom outside of someone specifically saying, here's a spell that prevents broom flight. So it's one of those things where, like, my head, you show me a broom, I'm like, I want to fly around the goddamn school.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess the last question is they show the 3 houses, and unfortunately, there's no House Targaryen, so I'm kind of
they showed the 4 houses. They showed the 4 houses.
There's 4.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Slytherin. What's the 4th one?
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. I don't know. Oh, I keep forgetting that one. Okay. So they showed the 4 houses. Right. What are you guys gonna go?
Gryffindor. Why would I go anywhere else? Why would I go anywhere else?
I'll let the hat pick for me.
And you know, like the troll in me would go Slytherin all the way, but I'm probably gonna go Gryffindor.
That's the interesting thing about when they showed when they showed you first dueling that Slytherin kid. In my head, I'm like, oh, this kid's in Gryffindor robes, that kid's in Slytherin. There should be a little friction, but it seems like they're fine, and he becomes a long-term companion. So I'm wondering if, honestly, the house you pick is going to really matter.
That's a good point. It would be interesting.
It's just like the East and West beef. You know, it's just the media that hyped it up.
No,
they're all friends there.
Slytherins are notoriously evil. Like, it's not like a manufactured beef. These are kids who are like, racism okay.
Maybe I won't be Slytherin, you know? Maybe I won't do that. But yeah, like I think it will be interesting to see exactly how that all kind of ekes out. Like in the trailer they showed like a little snippet of, like, you know, you don't know where you end up. You might end up being a little darker or whatever, and they showed the character using the Avada Kedavra curse, the killing curse. And that is super interesting because it is very much just like, all right, well, are you gated by the house you join in terms of the spell casting you can learn, or is it a moral system? Like, if you choose, I feel like if there was a moral system in the game, they would have probably showed something to that effect, more explicit.
It's interesting,
because
like the minute you bring in the unforgivable curses, you're like you're entering a realm where like there needs to be a firm moral system, because like that's like you're going to Azkaban offense right there using that spell in any context.
Right.
So it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah. And then another thing, like, and this is just, at this point, this is just kind of like the nitty gritty kind of nitpick stuff. Like, out of all of the gameplay scenes, or like the combat scenes, they didn't show any kind of UI. So it seems like the guy was just letting the magic rip without any like, you know, awareness, or just like, crap, maybe my magic is like going down. Maybe I should stop and drink some magic potion.
I'm of the mindset that, because like, yeah, magic can be super broken, and like that's a big fear. They either do you have, but no, it's not fluid. I'm pretty sure they're just going to do a stamina system.
I was like, the same thing,
like you're just going to have like a bar of like magic that will refuel, and you can use this many spells in succession before you needed to have it refuel.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise it gets.
It's cheesy and easy.
Well, not cheesy and easy. They need like they are using the film's version of magic in that type of dueling, quick wand work as the sort of the framework of combat. So you can't have it like, I can't be sitting there like being stopped because I've run out of MP and stuff like that, or if that makes sense.
Because especially if they're using the lore of the books and the movies, like it's not a thing of like, oh no, Harry has to drink some more blue liquid to regain his ability to use spells. It's just, he just kind of goes until he's like tired.
Yeah.
So the stamina system actually does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, you got anything else to say about this?
No, I am still trying to figure out how I'm going to play this game when it comes out. I'm of the mindset, and despite being excited for this game and everything, that I'm still in the crossroads because I want to support the developers who make this game. I also don't want to give J.K. Rowling money to be a hateful person. And there's no way to say it. Like, she's in control of the Harry Potter franchise. She will make money off of every sale of this game, and she's going to use that money for hurtful thing. So in the grand scheme of things, this is one of those games where like morally, I'm wrestling with how I deal with it.
Yeah, that's a very good statement. Like it is.
We all use smartphones that are built in China.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, where are we going with this? Yeah,
We're all
that's
giving
true.
money to an evil machine in some way, shape, or form.
I mean,
you gotta separate yourself from it.
Well, there's a difference between that, in that is a faithless thing that is hard to confront unless it's confronted in front of me. This is not, hey, I can trace the direct amount of my monetary support that is literally going to anti-trans like ventures.
That part is difficult. It is a thing of at least we have
there's a
lot of time to think about it.
There's a face to the situation.
Yeah. I mean, like,
y'all want to pirate it? Steal it or something?
No. My odds are what's probably going to happen is I'm not going to get the game immediately at release, and I'll buy the used copy from GameStop.
I mean, it's gonna be on Windows. I'm sure some pirate team will have it cracked today.
No, Sean, like, I don't want to have this argument or conversation. I'm not going to pirate the game. I'm not going to play it on my PC. What's probably going to happen is I'll just wait the day of or something, wait to go to a GameStop, get it used, and go on from there. At least I know none of my money would have gone to J.K. Rowling, and I can still play the game and talk about it critically and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing of picking it up used from GameStop sounds like actually a pretty good idea. Or not even just from GameStop, it could be from any of the outlets that have
Marketplace.
Yeah. Or Facebook Marketplace, yeah. All right. I guess the last thing is do y'all want to rate this? How would y'all rate this?
As a state of play?
Yeah.
As a state of play, 9, 8 out of 10. Really fantastic. This is actually interesting in that I'm of the mindset that if they should have combined both of these state of plays.
Yeah.
Like, we should have gotten a 15-minute section of this Harry Potter one in the last state of play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, they wanted Returnal to stand out, man.
Yes, that's why they buried it in the middle of the state of play.
Sean, how would you rate this state of play?
Perfect score, 5 out of 7.
Oh shit! Wait a minute, what?
it's an internet meme. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not a super fan though. So I mean, like,
right.
Like, I guess I'll see when it comes out. I'll see what the reviews or the previews are looking like. The actual hands-on. But I'm neither here nor there quite yet.
Okay. Is that a 7? Is that a 7.5? Is that a 4.5?
I give it a 3 6. It didn't look it didn't wow me. Like y'all remember the first time I saw Returnal, I was like, oh shit, I need this.
Yeah, right.
But it didn't I didn't feel like, some games we see it and we just like, what the hell is this? We clown it immediately.
Yeah.
So I mean, no, it's in the middle.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay. As a person who's only seen 2.5 movies, like that's not bad. It's not bad. I would give this. I'm probably sitting around a 9 too. I think this was really impressive in terms of what they showed. I think it looked really good. I think the things that they've shown us seems very flushed out, and it's like normally I'm one to like kind of nitpick and be like, okay, well, they did this, but like they could have done X, Y, and Z, and like I'm kind of at a loss of like what they could have shown me to make this even better. So I'm going to be interested in see like how this progresses and what it looks like when it actually releases, because I think that's especially being in a post cyberpunk world, like that's the big thing. I'm just like, all right, this looks great, but what it looks like when it actually, exactly. So yeah, well, that has been us reacting to PlayStation State of Play. We hope you enjoyed this reaction as much as we enjoyed reacting to it. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure you. Did I say like? I said like and subscribe, didn't I?
I mean, they know to do it.
Yeah. Make sure you like and subscribe on this YouTube video, because this is going to be the primary place to watch this content. We hope you have a good stay and avoid the stupefied curses, because that will get you stupefied. I don't really know how to end this. All right, peace out.
Star wipe. All righty, let me go.